Here we go. Hello, Mr. Richard, how are you today? I can't hear you. What was that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you for joining our telehealth appointment today. It is so wonderful to meet you. I went over your consent form and thank you for signing that. Everything that you do say in our session today will be confidential. So hopefully I'll be able to continue treating you throughout the rest of whatever sessions that you may need. So can you tell me about what did you decide to come for counseling for?
I'm having issues with coworkers at work that are being unresolved by my management.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's been going on?
Well, most of them, I don't even know how they got hired because they're not very capable of doing their job in the first place. And they act like a bunch of children. They're constantly making snarky comments to each other in the shop and pulling pranks on each other. And it's just
Okay.
really annoying. And sometimes sitting in the middle of it. And
Okay.
I
I
don't
can
want to hear
understand
it.
how that would be really annoying and really stressful to you. Um, can you tell me exactly what it is that's making you feel that way? What kinds of feelings are you experiencing?
Sometimes I get anxiety from it. Sometimes it makes me mad because there's better things that they could do and make use of their time. It's upsetting. I graduated high school over 20 years ago. I feel like I'm right back in high school with the immaturity.
Okay. I can understand how that would make you feel like as if you're back in high school all over again. It's very, very familiar. I know exactly what that feels like. So I'm very sorry that you have to go through that. So what kind of solutions have you tried to find for these issues with your coworkers?
I've tried talking to them and asking them to not do that stuff around me. I've tried talking to my management to see if there's anything they can do about it. And it just seems to be unheard and unresolved.
Okay. All right.
The
Have you
behavior
tried
is
talk?
allowed, the behavior is allowed to continue, and it's just aggravating.
Okay. You've tried talking with your coworkers, I assume?
I have,
Okay. And what have they said to you?
they just call me a crotchety old man and continue.
Kind of comical in a way, but very frustrating indeed. Now, when you experience these situations and you're experiencing the frustration of anxiety, what is it that you do in that moment of time to try to relax yourself?
I get up and I leave the room first and foremost and take myself out of that situation.
Okay, very good, very good. So you've reached out to your management team and you've also reached out to your coworkers to let them know how these situations are making you feel. Um, what What do you do when you leave work? When you leave work, how do these things affect you?
I try not to let them affect me. I leave work at work. Sometimes it's overwhelming and I'll go home and I'll say things to my wife about it and try to have a discussion with her, but sometimes it doesn't always work out either.
Okay, I can understand that. When you talk with her, what kind of concerns do you have with the communication when you have with her?
Well, she's got a medical condition and sometimes she's not fully capable of having these types of conversations because she's got other things going on in her own life that are bothering her and she's trying to process through them. So it adds to the frustration sometimes.
So I can see how sometimes you might feel as though you don't really have anyone to turn to for these feelings that you're experiencing. With that being said, how have you been typically handling those feelings?
Try to do projects around the house and like work through them, I guess.
So you tried
Put
to
that energy
distract your,
towards other things.
yeah. So you try to distract yourself from dealing with these feelings.
Yep, for the most part.
All right. I can understand that. Isolation is not always the best way to handle or face these concerns, because after some course of time, these feelings will catch up with you. It is best to address them at the source and figure out how you can actually find a more positive way to deal with these feelings that you're experiencing, since the other reach out concerns have failed. Reaching out to your management team, you've reached out to your coworkers to express to them how you're feeling. You've also explained to your wife, which she, unfortunately, you said, has her own mental health conditions that she's dealing with. So my best recommendation for you would be to look into ways of how you can reduce your stress levels when you experience these feelings. I mean, it's okay to feel feelings. It's okay to feel the negativity. It's okay to feel the anxiety, as what you're experiencing is totally valid and logical. And I could see how that would frustrate you. Would you be willing to try to work with ways to handle these stressful feelings?
Sure.
Okay. Sometimes avoidance is not always the best option. As I said, one of the things that I recommend is to create a list of things that you do like about your job, and also to create a list of things that you are not so fond of about your job. Does that sound like something that maybe you'd be interested in doing?
Sure, I could try that.
Okay. Name a couple of items that you do like about your job. Tell me a little bit more about what you do.
We maintain all the lighting for the rides and shows at the theme park. And sometimes when they close down to do maintenance, I like doing the projects on those rides.
When you do the projects on those rides, do you get a sense of fulfillment out of that?
I do.
Very, very good. See, that's something that you can definitely look forward to doing when you're at your job. It's a way of giving yourself a sense of productivity as well as satisfaction. Those are the things that I would focus on when you are experiencing your job. Name something else that you like about your job besides projects.
It's what I went to school for, and I mean, it's beach retail, I guess. It
How's the
pays pretty,
consistency?
it's consistent, 40 hours a week. Um, it pays pretty good for what is expected of us.
Okay.
So,
So you do feel that from a business perspective, you are doing what it is that satisfies and gives you a sense of production, even though you're dealing with situations with your coworkers. You get paid well, I'm assuming.
pretty decent, yeah.
Okay. So you feel some sense of satisfaction from your job, which is good. Those are the things that I would focus on the most, and I probably would add those to my list if I was in your situation. So what I would like to do is the next time that we have a meeting, hopefully I'll be able to see you again. I would love to be able to continue to work with you. We can go over this list together, and we can find out what it is that you really, really like about the job. And we can also write down on the other side of the list things that really frustrate you about the job. And then what we can do from there is work with these lists to figure out ways in the future when you're going through these particular stressful situations, the best way to handle them at that particular moment in time. Does that sound like a plan that would work for you?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Okay. All right. So do you have any questions for me? Any kinds of concerns? Is there anything that you wanted to mention about this?
Sorry, that's my dog.
Oh, you have a dog. That's so wonderful. I do too.
Yeah, he's trying to get the cat to play with him right now.
Oh, how cute. I'm assuming that your animals bring you a lot of joy too.
They do.
That's good. That's one thing that actually can be added to your list. You can say, I like my job because it helps me to provide for my dog. I see you have a dog dad mug.
I do.
That's very good. Very good. All right. Well, I'm glad you have some things that you do find enjoyable about your job. And I'm also glad that you have some positive things that you can look at with your job. those things are very important. As far as the negative things that you experience, we can actually go through those things one step at a time, and we can see what it is we can do to help you to go through those problems and those issues.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope to see you again next time.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.